Cavecast, the uncensored show for nerds of all kinds.
Is that we were supposed to get a snowstorm this past weekend and that didn't happen.
Oh, were we really?
Yeah, which I mean, we did get snow.
We got a little bit.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like everybody like, oh my God, we're gonna get like 4 inches. I'm like, it's not even sticking.
Yeah,
like,
right.
So
yeah. I mean, even if it does, it's just gonna melt away except for where the shadows are. You know? So
and today was 70.
Yeah, 70 degrees. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. I had, my windows down, was blaring music, like lunch break and stuff was cool.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just.
We had a picnic today, me and Chandler, and then we went and then we went and got a banana split, and she rode her go-kart out in the one church parking lot by Mom's. God, I couldn't get that out. Like,
no, but what it just made me think of was last night when you went out and grabbed it out of the car and you were like, yeah, I need to be a good dad.
Yeah.
And I was like, you understand how much of a great father you are that if you forgot her go-kart to charge it, that's like right under like spilling milk. Like it's like, dude, like
right, but she's been asking about it for 2 fucking days and I kept forgetting.
She's survived. She's fine. So
Yeah.
no, it was just funny. So the go-kart thing, like that's actually one of those, like I've wanted to try it, but I'm always just afraid that I'm going to bust my ass on it. It's because like the hoverboard thing.
Yeah,
it freaks me out,
They're interesting. They're definitely interesting, man. Like, especially if you stand up on it and do it that way. But no, like even the go-kart one, that thing holds, I think it says like 230 pounds or 220 pounds. Like a full grown adult can get, like it all extends, man.
I was going to say, because it looked like it was really small. So I didn't know. Oh, wow. Okay.
I get on it. You just have to put it on the longest thing. Yeah, bro.
I want to come home one time and just see you ripping it on the fucking floor.
Yeah, dude. That thing goes 11 mphs, dude. Bro, I was getting it in the parking lot one day at Meg's.
Oh God! What was it, the song that we did? We butter the bread with butter, where it was 17 kilometers per hour.
It was like 3.5 miles an hour or some shit.
Oh God! It's just, they're on scooters, so it's impressive that they're able to make it to 17 kilometers per hour.
That's getting it, son. They're cooking.
Let him cook. Let him cook. Oh God. Man, oh man. No, so the past couple of weeks, we've had some interesting things happen. I was gone for work in Colorado. We recorded a lot of reactions in a couple of days. That was the most, I think. 14, yeah. 7 in 2 or 7 for each in like 2 days that we did things.
Yeah, because we had to cover the week that we were getting ready to prep for, and then the next week because you were going to be like leaving right when like the day before we were supposed to record.
Yeah.
And that was the only time we had. So yeah, we had to cram in 14 episodes in 2 days. And then didn't we do something else?
I think that we
had a live.
Yeah, we had a live. Yeah.
So we did 14 sods, then did a live, and then then you got sick.
Okay. Yeah. That's actually something I wanted to talk about was that, guys, that was actually.
We were going to record more.
Yeah. Cause it was actually more for like the detour that we were going to do some stuff on. And what's weird is that like my balance of like work stuff that's going on right now is that I'm not going to reveal everything here because some of the stuff is a surprise, but the project I'm working on with Demented Pictures. Doing stuff. So like, that's been kind of like the other thing that's been on my mind of like, okay, like, slowly, get these tasks done to prep for when we can film and do this, and this. And that was actually going to be kind of what I was going to do that weekend was that, we were going to get detour stuff done. And then I was going to, watch the movies that we need for the list of the thing that we're doing, but we're doing it with a twist. So definitely if you guys are into horror movie countdowns, you need to go subscribe to Demented Pictures.
Yes,
I'll be sure I put
100%.
a link in the description. Just what he's doing over there is just so cool.
Yeah,
so he's been a good friend of ours for a while. So, but I can't remember what day it was. I just know that I woke up on the weekend and I'm like, something is wrong.
I think it was Saturday because
it?
Because I remember we were going to record all weekend because we were going to do like, I think a Shut Up and Eat It, and we were going to do a What'd You Say?
Oh, yeah.
So we had a bunch of, and we were going to do another High on Life. We had this whole like Saturday and Sunday that we were going to do it. And yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Saturday because it just started. You're like, dude, I don't know if I can do this. And you're like, I'm not feeling good. I'm like, oh shit. Okay. And then it just took over.
Yeah. Cause I remember it was even that night that Luke was actually having a garage night and was like, hey man, like come on down, you know, at like 6 p.m. or whatever. And I was like, oh sweet. I'm like, that like we can get our recording done. Like, you know, I'll do it. And like, it was one of those that I was like, okay, like maybe if I rest up enough, I can at least like go see my friend I haven't seen in a long fucking time. And it was like, dude, it just stopped everything in my life. And I was just like, oh my God, like I've got to travel to Colorado on Wednesday. Am I going to get better? And like, I had that mentality of like, you know, oh geez, like if I travel with people, am I going to get my coworkers sick? You know, because if I'm, you know, if I'm still a carrier, like didn't know if it was COVID, didn't know what was going on. It was just influenza. It was just like,
you had it for like 4, almost 5 days though, man.
Yeah, it was rough. And even while I was in Colorado, I, you know, was over like the whole, like just debilitating, you know, physics of it, but still like had the residuals. I still kind of do, which is kind of like some of the coworkers that I work with. It was just like, dude, like everybody ended up getting sick. Yeah. So
everybody around me did.
Yeah. So and you, as always, you never got sick. So because you have an iron immune system. I
don't know, man. It's just because I drink the hometown water, I think. I don't know, but
there's chemicals in my water and it helps. You know?
Just I've knock on wood. I've kind of always been like that. Like, you know, especially with everybody that around me that got COVID as well. And I was in same rooms. I even shared drinks and stuff with people that ended up getting it. I never got it. I never had symptoms. I even tested myself a couple of times. No. Yeah. I don't get it, dude. Now watch me die tomorrow of like, you know, something weird.
It's like you get a stomach bug and that's what did it.
Yeah. This is the end, you know,
took me out. But no, like, I mean, thankfully that all worked out really well. And it was kind of that moment, like, I don't know, like I had this weird mentality of going to Colorado just because there are a couple reasons. Is that one is that Colorado's actually been a place that I have thought about. It's not just because weed's recreational or somebody would think that would be like what would draw them there, but it's the fact that like when you see these really beautiful homes, you know, that are out in the wilderness, you know, kind of almost like the Rockies, if like you want to call it that or whatever, like I love those like modern homes that are out there. And a part of me was always like, you know what, when I'm old and gray and if Lord willing that I have the ability to retire or whatever, like I would love to do it. And I don't know if I just need to go to different parts of Colorado, but I will say this is that it was very beautiful, but it's just empty. Like if you're not in the mountains or anything like that, or in the forest or anything, like it's just flat. You know, except for like if you end up going into the city and then obviously, you know, you have like your normal, you know, the normal like metropolitan kind of thing going on. But it kind of gave me a different view of things where I was like, wow, like I'm like, okay, like maybe I just love Ohio. Like, I mean, this is like, you know, this is just like where I've always been. Like, because even, you know, the guys in Slipknot where it's like, you know, they've, you know, been able to, you know, become, you know, these titans or whatever in the music industry. And they're like, nah, dude, like I live in Des Moines still, you know, like I still live in Iowa. Like, you know, it's like the shit town that everybody says that they're going to leave. And it's like, no, I'm still here, you know, like years later.
Just in a bigger house.
Yeah. Right. So, you know, it's like maybe the basement's a little more finished or something, you know, but what I was actually really shocked about, and I'm not trying to be funny, but you know, we've watched everything from, you know, Sean Evans from Hot Ones, where like he did the whole thing where it was like, you know, how attentive are you whenever you smoke? It's because they did like a social experiment where he ended up having to work a convenience store for a night. And he would get smoke breaks. He'd go outside and he was like, yeah, it's really weird that I can just be out here and just light this thing. Like it's, you know, there's no problem. I went into the mentality that if I am going into a recreational state or like the first one that like that it was going to smell like a skunk, and it doesn't. Like it's like it really just kind of felt like I was in Cleveland. Like it was very interesting. You know, it was very different than what I was expecting.
Yeah, I mean, I think people have a misconception on, you know, states like that, you know, including ours that is, you know, recreational now, where it's, you know, they're just working on getting stuff, you know, built here. But But the thing is like, it's not like that. People aren't just like walking down the street blowing dro, dude, and big blunts. Like that's not what's happening. Like there is still rules, number one, and number two, like people are they're not like selfish with it, but they're like, nah, man, like I'm just gonna like be inside and do this or whatever, like be on my deck. But like it's not like you have a slew of people that are just every house outside on their deck smoking at the same time.
Yeah, right.
But you would think, people would get crazy with it, but no, they really don't. And I think it's really cool that a lot of the places we were talking about, I swear it's Colorado, but they offer anybody, it's certain dispensaries that if you bring them, I don't know if it's trash or if it's just recycle, but if you bring them a bag of recycle or trash, they give you a pre-roll.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn. And then they were saying like the places that had it, like their cities and towns, like they've never been cleaner. There's low crime rate.
Yeah.
There is like, it's kind of cool, man. That's the cool stuff to see when they're like, enticing, like, here, you want this? Just bring it, like clean up the streets. Well, it doesn't matter who you are.
Well, I think especially too, where it's like, no matter who it is, but especially, with, the homeless thing that's happening. I mean, dude, like when I was there, that was very evident. Like, I mean, there was a lot of times like, cause it's, I don't know how much you've had experience with that. Cause I know like you lived in Pittsburgh for a while.
Oh, there was a ton of them.
Right. And it's cause I don't know, like there's been certain times of my life that, like depending on, especially if I'm there for work, I'm a little more restricted on the interactions that I can have with people. Like for instance, we were walking down, whatever street it was, but we were kind of like trying to find like some cool places to get some food or get some drinks or do some stuff because you're in Colorado, so it's kind of like okay, like go get some state beer or do this or that, which is just Coors, but trying
to open my beverage.
Yeah. So speaking of which, no. So it was interesting, and what ended up happening was that we were walking down this section of street and I looked over and there were actually some, I can assume they were Christians or they were Mormons or like, whatever, but they were actually evangelizing and they were talking to people. And I had this moment where like, I was like, man, I've been on your end of things before. You are in Denver. I can't imagine the interactions you've been having today. So like there was a part of me that almost wanted to just go up to them and talk to them for a little bit, but I was with coworkers, you know, and I'm sure that not everybody would be cool with that because then they're probably going to try to rope other people in and that just gets weird, so so I didn't really get a chance to somebody's revving no, but I really didn't get a chance to, I guess, like embrace Denver the way that I wanted to, but in the same hand it was just like, wow, like this is really cool. Like it was just like, it was like, I love culture. I love seeing how other places operate and do things, and it was a really good experience. The trip went very well. One of the things that was actually awesome that I kind of had forgotten about was that about a week or so before we left for our trip, I went into my boss's office and we were kind of like talking about like some logistical stuff as far as like, okay, like this is the video stuff we're going to do this because we mainly do like live video for these events where we have a board very similar to what we have here and somebody pushes the button to change the cameras and stuff. It's like 1,000 people in a room. It's extremely intimidating your first time doing it. And then you're like, okay, this is just keep the camera still. But the gentleman that actually did the Evolution of Dance, which is quote unquote the first viral video that was ever made, which in my opinion, I think maybe it's tied with Numa Numa. But that's just my personal opinion. Okay. But I remember I went into one of the DM classes that was going on because one of the things I try to do is with the company I work for is that, like sneak into some of the classes while the presentations are going on to see the videos I've made to see how people react to it, because it's such an interesting perspective of like, we've worked on these videos for months, so I could kind of disassociate myself. But I was like, like I want to see, what Darren thinks. I want to see, what these other people think, and I remember walking in and there was this gentleman that was speaking in front of all of our DMs. And I was like, oh, well, okay, is this one of our like regional managers or something? Because like he knew business. He was teaching how to approach selling, all that stuff. And I went over to Don, my boss, and I was like, hey, I'm like, who's the new guy? And he went, oh, no, he's like, that's our, I can't remember his name. I apologize if you ever see this, but he was like, yeah, he's like, that's the Evolution of Dance guy. And I went, this guy's a motivational speaker too. Well, I guess it makes sense, right. But I got to meet him a couple of times and like shake his hand and say hello. He was very, very nice. It was kind of that moment of like meeting a celebrity while I'm doing things. It was like functional for the job. Like he actually was on stage performing in front of everybody and like had like a comedy bit that also tied into, business and different things like that, talking about how things evolve. So that goes into his dance routine and different stuff. It was just a very interesting trip all around, and it went really well. It was just that trip that, every year we have every emotion going into it. We're excited, we're nervous, we're dreading certain things.
Oh, yeah.
Like we're hoping things go well. And I got to say, man, like just the team that we have that, even though things never go perfectly, it's just, dude, I love the guys and gals that I work with. Like they're so amazing, to be able to have like that kind of synergy. So like
makes it easy to do it and like want to go back because you work with great people. At least that you're going to get that environment out of it, know, but yeah,
man, it just, to me, it's one of those that like, now that it's done, I kind of feel like my year can begin.
Yeah.
Right. So like, I mean, and it's no joke either. Like I've got, like 4 scary stories that are lined up. I'm working on this thing with Mike. I'm doing this and this. We're still pumping out reactions. We're making detour stuff, like all that stuff. So it was kind of a big weight that was taken off my shoulders and much as much as it was for everybody else that was working on that. And going into Don's office and asking him like, hey, how's everything going? He's like, we're already prepping for next year. We got this, we got that. And I'm
right.
It's kind of like, wow, no rest for the artist, huh?
Nope.
It's just, it's interesting. So, but that was my experience while I was gone, that's everything that happened. And I'm kind of curious as far as like, while I was out of state, kind of like how your end of things were and like if there was anything cool that happened or anything like that.
I mean, as far as like, what I did, like my time actually didn't really change that much. I mean, I had almost everything done, which was weird. Like I edited like probably 90% of the videos.
Bro, you plowed through a lot of shit.
Yeah.
In just a flawless way.
Well,
yeah.
It was because I knew that we were both prepping. Like you were making all the thumbnails because you were going to be gone as well. So you kind of just took a night too and just went through everything. And I got through, I would say, almost every video except maybe like 3. And it was just because I knew that you were going to be gone. We've already got the stuff done. Then I was going to be leaving. So the house was, nobody was going to be here to upload or do anything.
Yeah. So
I had to make sure that everything was scheduled the right days. Stuff that was coming out, everything was put through, and then I was just checking every day, like, what am I doing? Like, but it was that, and then I started basically kind of vlogging, for the detour, and it's been interesting because while you won't like, you might vlog for 2 or 3 days, and it might make a video for you, depending on how much or how little you record and then put in there. So it's very different on switching my mindset between sitting down in a studio and doing stuff and then going, oh shit, maybe I should, or whatever, or, this is cool, or have more of a like destination or thing to do in the video like that. So it's very different. Not that every video we upload is going to be a vlog, but those are fillers with other things. Yeah. And if you don't get in the habit of doing it or how to do it correctly or better, it's not going to be any good.
No.
So that was kind of my thing. Like while you were gone, it was trying to get things kind of put together for that. The weather was kind of shitty. So like I didn't really get to do a whole lot outside like I'm kind of getting to do now. But yeah, that was pretty much it in the sense of like, it was basically just kind of running around with your head cut off like, oh God, like everything done. Did I get this? Now I got to make sure I do this. But once you were back, it kind of like, and then I was at the house and everything, it all just kind of went back into it, but still the stress of learning how to do this, how to maintain this other channel. So it's basically just been not only while you were gone, but the last couple of weeks, just this whole detour thing and how it fits in, how to schedule things and what we want to do. So
yeah. And I don't know if you had this, but there were times that now granted I was busy doing things because I was there for work, but there were times that like I would wake up and panic, and I was like, oh my God, we need a video that we already did and is uploaded. Like it was such a weird time because it's like that, like I've kind of joked about it before, but like the whole mentality of like when you see an actor that's in a role, you know, or something where they have like, you know, maybe specific facial hair or their like hair is, you know, different, or like, you know, the physique they have or something, like that whole idea that like when you watch the content they have and then you end up seeing them either in real life or you see them like, you know, when people watch us go live or something, like, I mean, you know, it's, I don't know, there's this weird just perspective I think that people have where it's like, no, we shot all this stuff a couple weeks ago and this is now catching up to like what we're doing. So like there was a part of me that kind of felt naughty where I was like, ooh, like if I ever like do want to take a trip or do something, this is what we have to do. Okay. Right. It's like, I mean, it's, you know, it's a lot of work. I won't say that it's the easiest thing to do, but it was the idea of like, all right, like this is manageable. This is interesting. And, you know, and it's like, the show did not stop even amongst like me getting sick, having to be out of state, coming back, figuring stuff out, getting things done, personal life stuff happening, and then also leisure, you know, and
right.
that was something like I really liked that. That was really cool to see that it was like, wow, like it fucking worked. Like we made it happen. You know,
that you can't work remotely and still have like, I just didn't feel like setting everything up and then my kind of shit laptop to try to mirror things and do all this and like, it can be done. Not that it, you know, you have to always just cram pack everything in there, but yes, everything was done. We took maybe you know, with recording and then editing and then putting the thumbnails together, 6-8 hours of our 3 to 4 days that we collectively worked on that to get all of that done. Yeah, I'll go to Maui for a week. Right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I get it where like it was kind of a lot, but it also showed me that, you know, two things. I can get a bunch of shit done if I really just fucking sit down and do it. I do have the time, certain times when I don't have Chandler like that. So that's the other thing too, is if I don't have Chandler, I can do that stuff as, you know, a little bit more. But or the fact of, it can be over time and you don't need to have as much stress. But if I want to just dick off for a while or for a week and like kind of take a week off work, if you will, I need to sit down on a Sunday and work for 8 hours.
Yeah, right.
But then I don't have to work again until Thursday.
Yeah, that's,
you know, so it's that's kind of like where I'm at with it, where I'm like, oh, this is showing me some really cool angles here that I can do on top of trying to also do the detour. So not only can I go, well, maybe I can spend a bunch of time tonight, edit and get some stuff together, and then spend the next 2 days either not doing anything or getting stuff together for the detour, or maybe there is a vlog I want to do or something like that, and then take those, you know what I mean? Like, try to balance that out, because I think I got in this mentality of, I did things at certain times as far as editing or how many I did it, you know, in a row. Yeah. Now I'm just like, nah, sit down. You know, I'm not having to do something every single day at 9 o'clock at night. Right. So that helps. Well,
and I think that there's like, cause you and I even kind of like talked about it last night, was that, you know, like doing the scary stories, like now that I've, you know, essentially learned that, you know, creepypastas, I can use them without permission. It's not like Reddit's No Sleep where like, no, you have to seek out. Like, I probably could get away with using a No Sleep without asking permission, but if somebody is pissed off about it,
sure,
that can lead to a lot of really bad things.
Right.
And knowing that, you know, like, because balancing work with personal life and everything is something that I've had to learn in a process. Like, I think I'm not trying to equate these, but like, it's like having a kid. It's like starting a new job. It's like doing something scary,
right?
Where it's like you just don't know until you do it, and then you learn the type of person that you are within that thing, you know. And it's because it's like nobody's ever ready to take on the responsibility that we have. We just kind of did it, you know. Where it was like, let's just see. You know, the worst thing that can happen is that we make a statement and go, just kidding, we're moving on. You know, but you know, but like again, like with what we do and how we make things happen, you know, like it was interesting to have that moment of last night, like, you know, because I ended up posting one on Monday and I was like, man, like I've got these three or four other things I could do. I'm like, I could plow through tonight and do this, but I've got a weekend coming up, you know? So it's like, I'm going to watch the movies that I need to get done. I'm going to, you know, write out, you know, my mini reviews for these movies. And then I'll go ahead and just make the next Scary Story on Sunday and release it on Monday. Like I don't have to rush, you know, and it's such a different mentality than what we have on Riker Road because we don't upload 7 days a week on any other channel. You know, so like, cause it's weird. Like we get caught in the groove of like even doing the podcast where it's like, okay, like Wednesday is when we shoot this. It comes out on Friday, you know? So it's like, it's weird when you introduce another element of something that you can do fluently. And then you're just like, well, I need to, well, no. Well, hold on. Like tonight doesn't have to be a work night.
Yeah, right,
you know?
right.
But even then, whenever we're not working, we're still talking about working. Like, you know, so like, which is not a problem. Like, because I enjoy what we do. I enjoy the process. I enjoy the I guess you could say the satisfaction of when something goes up, it does well, the interaction's cool on it, people are digging it, they're asking for more, and like leads us down these different journeys and different things. Like it's just, you know, it's good. Like I do enjoy it a lot. It does get to be, you know, sometimes where it's like there are some days where I'm like, nah, dude, I'm not doing anything today. I'm unplugging, you know, like, you know, and I'm resetting, you know.
Yeah.
It's that the pause that refreshes, you know. So
Well, that's what I was going to say is that, you know, I do the same thing essentially when I go to Meg's. Like now I'm getting better and I'm trying to stay, you know, getting better at doing certain things, but I do. Like you still look at comments, you still look at emails, you still, and what I'm getting better at is still looking at Instagram. Right. But you know, it's stuff like that I will take like my morning and try to do like take your mentality of, all right, well, I need to sit down and drink my coffee or do whatever it is in the morning for the first hour. Well, do all of this.
Yeah.
Then the rest of my day is just for, you know, me, Meg, and the kids. So I do shut off. And it is weird because like I kind of just like do it and then like throw my phone down. Yeah. In a sense where I'm like, I don't really like I'll scroll TikTok and whatnot, but like I don't really do anything on social media like that much. And it is nice, but it's the fact of I think with us living together, we do it so much when I'm here because I've been at Meg's for 4 or 5 days, you know, at a time. And then I come back and I get, you know, 6-7 days in a row. So we get it all in. It's going to be interesting, you know, in the next 6 months when we know we get a house and I move out. Yeah. How our shut off is going to be because I'm not going to be here like that. I might spend the night, like we said before, like maybe once a week. I'm sure we will video call. Or even the fact of we're not going to live that far from each other. Like, you know, I'm sure you'll stop over or do like, we'll have a cookout. But like what I'm saying is that consistency of working 100 hours a week because 60 of it is still thinking and talking about it.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, because like our audience is no stranger to the fact that it's like, you know, that it doesn't shut off for us, you know, and I think that, you know, especially with life change, you know, we've had personal conversations about this, like, you know, here and there about different things is that, you know, like I'm actually quite excited to see what the dynamic is because I think that it's the idea that it's like, you know, yeah, like there's the convenience of, oh, I have an idea or something's on my mind or whatever. I'll go upstairs and just ask him something or I'll, you know, go into the kitchen. But in the same hand is that, you know, like I look at it that I think productivity as far as brainstorming and things are going to be like maybe like the same or more as far as like what we can get done because it's not we don't have the loose basis of that. Oh, we can stand in the kitchen till 2 a.m. every single night or whatever. Like it's kind of like, nah, dude, like we're sitting on the back deck, we're grilling, we are talking, you know, it's like
that's what I mean. Yeah.
You know, so it's like, it's being able to have those focused moments. And I think that it's like, you know, it's selfishly for both of us. I think it's going to help us, you know, like kind of like put life in, you know, kind of almost, having the reins on life in certain ways where it's kind of like, all right, cool. Like, you know, we're going, nope, stop. We can pick this up on the next time. Like, you know, it's like the next time we meet up where it's like, we have the ability to consistently still make content no matter what, even when we're brainstorming things, content is still being made.
Well, sure.
You know, so it's like that because I think that just comes from the process of us, you know, starting in the basement when both of us were in very different points of life and we were still dedicated then as much as we possibly could be, you know, but looser very much at that point. But like now it's just, I don't know, like it's kind of like content creation is kind of like breathing in a way,
dude.
You know, it's so odd. You know, it's like I never thought it would be like this. You know,
it's so weird. I don't mean it to sound like, oh, I forgot where we came from, but like, dude, I forgot. Like, I forget that like we started all of this collective journey started with this. Well, not this, but like this shit right here in the, like you said, in the basement when we were just going through a fuck of a time.
Yeah.
Almost the same things, but different things at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
And then, no, wow, dude, like that's really interesting. The fact of thinking about it like that now, like all of the flashbacks that are coming, you know, and then the fact of pulling up on 200,000 subscribers, how the channel looks now for the podcast, another channel that, you know, I've opened up that we want to just do cool shit on. Your scary stories are finally back it up and running. Like,
Yeah.
dude, man, that's a little overwhelming. Like in a good way though, but like,
Yeah. Oh no, I'm terrified. So
yeah,
you know,
like when you really think I don't have a job anymore. I'm not trying to be like, I'm just saying like look at what this has done.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
dude, oh man. Sorry. Every time I say that, I feel like I'm bragging. I don't mean it like that.
No,
but like,
it's, well, 'cause honestly, like that's, you know, I think that there's different times that, you know, like when you hear different creative people, you know, talk about like what their day entails and what they're doing and how they go about stuff, like not like Markiplier didn't always just make videos and do his thing and, you know, live a comfortable lifestyle where like he's essentially doing side quests like Snoop Dogg now. You know, like, because that was actually one of the things that I was really proud of him for was I can't remember when it was, but it was like maybe recently in the past like 3 to 5 years was that I was watching his gaming videos, but he eventually like he was like, you know what, screw it, like, you know, he's like, I have the ability, I'm gonna build a music studio in my house, I'm gonna learn how to play guitar.
oh,
And he's like, he forced himself to learn how to sing, like all that stuff. And I think there was a couple of times like he played some live music, like maybe some meetups or things like that. But like his life, you know, would not have garnered him to be able to have the freedom to have a lifestyle for him to be able to say,
Yeah.
you know what, I want to pursue this.
right.
You know, and it's so, I don't know, to me, like that's the stuff that like making, like kind of looking at like where we're at now is that, you know, yeah, like, you know, I still work a full-time job. I mean, we're not rolling in, you know, the dough of YouTube. Like that's not at all what's happening, but
it's pretty good.
well, it doesn't suck. Like
Yeah,
it's
especially
like,
for copyrighted shit.
right. Well, because I mean, the way that I've kind of put it was that like for anybody, because like I've actually had some friends and also coworkers that have like, you know, whether or not it's been over a drink or if it's, you know, been out to lunch or something, like they've asked me, they're like, what is the pay like? You know, it's like, is this?
Are you honest with them?
Oh yeah, I mean, what else? Because actually, what I've done before is I've actually opened the YouTube Studio app, and I've like again, I won't divulge everything because then you get into that conversation, it's weird. But like, you know, with friends or whatever, I'll show them. I'm like, look, you know, this is our estimated revenue. Now you can see it's down, like, you know, it's like compared to everything else. But I'm like, it'll either be significantly higher or be significantly lower, depending on like what month or how things are happening. So I'm like, it kind of is like darts at a dartboard every month. Like we've kind of gotten used to what our quote unquote paycheck is, which by the way still needs taxed. So
correct.
So like, you know, so it's that mentality of like, okay, like this is interesting. And I think that it does open a lot of people's eyes when they see that, where they're like, wow, so this is just like more money to pay your bills.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah, like I'm not taking this and, you know, exclusively buying a guitar every 2 weeks. Like I would love that. That'd be so, who wouldn't want to buy the thing that they love? But in the same hand is that like, that's not what it is. Like everything that we do, just it's from, you know, the support of our audience, like, you know, completely. And it's, you know, from, you know, whether it is super chats or if it's people just clicking like, or, you know, commenting, like all that stuff. Cause that's the one thing that I always hate to see is when somebody's like, I'm sorry, I can't donate. It's like literally you being an audience member is enough.
Does actually like, more, I think, in my opinion, commenting, liking, and watching.
Yes.
So
yeah, it's to me like it's a very interesting dynamic. But again, like I mean, getting back to like the whole mentality of like you talking about like, you know, you don't have a job, like this is your job, like that's just the thing, man. Like there's something very surreal about that because I forget about it too. because, you know, we're like, you know, we're in so deep with what we do.
Right.
That it's like having that perspective of like, damn, like we really were in the trenches in like the lowest part of like 17 subs where nobody even cared about who we were except for the few people around us that were very passionate and were like, dude, like, I believe in you. You've got this, like, or whatever. And it's like, well, of course, mom's going to say that. Of course, Joey's going to say that.
Exactly.
Like, you know, so, but because that was kind of the interesting perspective I had where a friend of mine said that his girlfriend was actually listening to us on, I think, the Google Home while she was taking a shower because like she was ending her night and she was like, okay, like I'm going to get comfortable or whatever. And it's just like he actually shot me a message and was like, he's like, yeah, I can literally hear you, like you and Eric coming from the bathroom right now.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, that's crazy. Like, you know, because I know the things that I watch and I listen to whenever I'm cleaning or if I'm just doing my day, you know, and it's odd that we have a presence in people's lives like that. It's something that I don't think I'll ever get used to no matter where we end up.
And that's what I mean. Like, think about this. It was like you said, like we were downstairs in your basement with shotgun mics and the original Roadcaster that now runs Riker Road and some old GoPros.
Yeah.
Now, it looked good. It sounded good, but
compared,
you know, right. And like, this is the thing is that, you know, we have invested and believed and wanted and done and seen the, you know, the outcome on things. And this is where we've ended up. You know, people always ask us, well, how do you do it? Like, how do you become a YouTuber? How do you, you have to want it. I know that sounds cliche and corny. You have to invest in yourself. I don't care if it's $2,000 or $200.
Yeah.
Like you have to.
Right.
You have to get certain things to either A, make sure you look and sound good, or you make a good presence where you're while being online. And also, I think 50% of it is get lucky. Like,
dude, for real.
Get lucky.
Yeah.
Find that one thing that throws you in the algorithm. You don't know what it is either, but just fucking try. And I don't mean just try everything under the sun on YouTube, but I'm just saying like have some different areas that you might want to go. Like, okay, well, this isn't working. Let me try this instead. That's what happened. Granted, it was only 2 things I had to go through. It went from gaming and then, well, we want to react to stuff. We already do this. Fuck it. And here we literally sit. And I'm not trying to be like in another fucking studio after we built another studio. Like, so.
What's because what did we say the one night where it was just like we were trying to find something where it was like, is it in the podcast studio? No, it's in the guitar studio. No, I left it in the Riker studio. And it was kind of that moment of like, we're jackasses. Like, what the fuck? Like, how did we even get here? Like, you know, because it's
we have more studios than living space. No, I'm just kidding.
Because like when you think about it, like, you know, I mean, we're not doing it to this aggressive of a thing, but like Jack White from the White Stripes, this is something I heard, you know, a while ago. So whether it's true or not, maybe is up for debate, but it wouldn't shock me if it's true, is that when Jack White was in college, he ended up moving out all of his furniture in the dorm and moved a drum set in. That way his band could practice. And
that's like, pretty dope.
Like, so it's one of those where like, when you look at it, we're like, no, dude, he's such a well-respected, like, you know, musician now. And it's like, no, dude, he fucking chased it. It was like, he wanted it so bad that this is how it was going to go down. And it was the only way it could happen.
What is it you've always said to me? And I guess I wasn't ever really paying attention to it like this, but what is it you've always told me? You're like, you refuse to take no for an answer.
100%.
And I'm just like, well, there's always another option here. Just maybe it's not the one I want, but at least I know that it's an option. So like, I never looked at it that way, but I'm like, I guess that's how I am. But it's like, no, this works. I know motherfuckers be doing this, so I can do it. Like, it's just like, that's how I looked at it. It's like, anybody can have a fucking YouTube channel. And I don't mean to be like that guy, but it's like, no, like, I know that you were going to be able to help me make it look good, what I needed to look at to invest in, you know, things like that. And it was just like, no, fuck it. I am going to spend $800 on microphones because this is good. And Kyle tells me that, you know, making sure you sound good and look good is everything. Like that's what I paid attention to. So and I fucking ran with it.
Well, I think it's also like this is the other part of it that I think that a lot of people don't think about is that, you know, it's like, dude, like you have to watch YouTube. Like you have to pay attention to things like, because especially because what was it that we learned about No Life Shaq, that what was it, he did 1,000 videos before he ever got monetized or something?
Well, no, it was before he ever, like, I don't think it was that he wasn't monetized. Maybe that was it, but it was something he said it was like 500, or I think it might have been 1,000 videos before he started making any kind of money. And I'm like, all right, dude.
That boy loves reacting.
Okay. Yeah. All right. You know what? The few times he's kind of flexed his dick a little bit with his houses and cars, I'm like, oh, buddy, you're losing a little bit of brownie points for me.
Right.
Now I get it.
Because no,
He
fucking earned it.
100%.
Because I think that's the one thing that is really defeating, when you know that there's just like, there's a possibility that, you know, you're churning out content and there's just not going to be anybody that's going to watch.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just, I don't know, like, especially like having the audience that we do have it's really compelling, just because like we've interacted with some pretty incredible people through every facet of life, whether they are our age, older or younger. You know, and I mean, having the Discord community is a place where it's just like, wow, like, you know, like it's active, like there's life on here, you know, people are doing their thing. You and I talked last night, and this is something that I'm going to do my best to get through this, I'm sure, as we both will. But this is something that we have got to talk about. And it's something that I did reach out to Cindy earlier today and gave her kind of like a heads up and asked permission if we could talk about this. So if there's any confusion, guys, like we've got this. So I don't remember the first time that I saw Cindy pop up on a video, but I remember seeing her profile picture, and it was something to the effect of like on a Falling in Reverse video, where she was like, "Rock on, this is awesome."
Yeah, right.
And you know, and it was, I mean this with the utmost respect, but it was kind of like, wow, like it was almost kind of like seeing like two rocking grannies, where it was like, dude, this is so cool. Like she just loves music. Like
exactly.
It doesn't matter what it is. You know, it's like she, like whether it's Jelly Roll, she can have a conversation about it. If it's Eminem, she can have a conversation about it. If it's Ren, she's all in. You know, so it's like, it's stuff like that. And, you know, there's this almost like disconnect that you can have with your audience, where like you can read words and know that there's weight. But when you put yourself in their shoes of typing those things out and saying these are the things that are happening and things like that, like I have a lot of respect for the people that watch us for many different reasons, but Cindy is a warrior. To give everybody context, was that we basically, I think I learned it through Mom, because Cindy has never, like, she's much like a Lori, where like even when Lori was going through her cancer stuff or whatever, she never once begged for attention. She never once, like, it was just like, I love what you guys are doing. And we learned that Cindy's daughter, Amber, had ALS, which I don't know much about this disease except for fuck it, it needs to disappear. Like, it's like, this is like, it's like it would, like, it's like when you see people like with the black t-shirts with white letters that just says fuck cancer, you know, like it's like that type of thing. Like these diseases, these things have no regard for if you're young or old. They have no regard for the type of person that you are, anything like that. And to learn that in the time that we have known Cindy, whether even though it's been from far away, that she took care of her adult kid full time, and just, you know, and was essentially like watching, I don't mean to be cryptic, but it was like watching this disease that does nothing but just take everything away from you. And I remember Mom was telling me about it the one night, and I won't divulge what the conversation was, but that was the night that I realized what was actually happening.
Right.
And dude, like, it just, the amount of positivity that this wonderful woman puts out into the world. And like, dude, like my day gets ruined by the dumbest shit.
Oh, facts.
And like if there was ever a time that, you know, take the fact that it's your kid out of it, if there was a family member, if there was a friend that you are, basically like waking up every day hoping that they're still there and doing everything you can to make them just as comfortable as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And Mom sent me a message, which she sent you a message as well too. And she basically said, Amber passed away this morning. And I read it, and I think that like either like some people were kind of over when I read it, so I didn't really have like the emotional reaction to it yet because it hadn't really set in yet.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of like when the world stopped, and I was just like, I'm like, I can't believe this. Like, I've never even met this girl,
right?
And this fucking hurts. And it's like, my God, like, it's like, I can't imagine what that is like, and it's like, cause like we've grown close with our audience, with the people that, we've allowed in or whatever. Cause we can't allow all 200,000 people in. It's just impossible.
Right.
But, man, and knowing that the week prior, one of the coolest things, one of the best things fucking happened to that family. And I think I kind of want to have you take the reins on that a little bit as far as like the falling in reverse thing or whatever the thing that happened. So yeah,
dude. Like I wasn't at first. I wasn't following because I didn't realize that Amber had this page on Facebook and all this stuff.
Because even though she couldn't audibly communicate, she could still type and she would still have her blog and do
So I was confused at first, and I'm like, wait. I thought Mom said something because Mom was sending me this stuff, and it was, she was talking about Cindy and Amber, and I'm like, okay, well, and then so I wasn't getting it. Anyways, come down to it to where it's like, Amber had been messaging Ronnie's team and, talking about like, they were coming to, locally for a show and all this stuff, and how she wanted to make it an experience for her mom.
Dude.
Like,
dude, she's so selfless. Yeah. And just like, dude, like, I just like, this would be so cool.
Yeah. And I know Mom said something about she sent like 20 or 30 messages, and finally somebody did like see it or respond. And dude, they got to not only go backstage, they got like VIP tickets and all this stuff, but there were pictures of them hanging out, and Cindy, God bless her, because guys, we were trying to send, Ronnie had liked our shirts and we went to go send them to him. But, we found out that there was 2 different PO boxes. There was something going on and all this stuff.
Just a lot of confusion. Yeah.
He doesn't have one at the moment or something like that. So we never got to send him one. And Spunky said, I'm going to give him the shirt off of my back. I don't care. And she had another shirt.
Right.
But she literally did. And not only did they get to have a cool experience, it was a great show. And I'm so glad that they were able to share that, I guess, kind of one last thing together. Yeah. That meant so much to them. But not only that, but we were a small piece of that with Riker Road is the name, and the shirt. And apparently when she gave him the shirt, guys, she was like, yeah, from blah blah blah, and he was like, oh, I know who they are. So that was really cool. But I don't want to take the attention off of them. But that was just all of that. Like, we got to be a small little blip in their journey right there. And I think that's really cool. That means a lot more than anything.
That's honestly because I remember seeing the picture of
and he's
all of
just
them.
fucking
he was loving it, and I think that what I ended up either reading or Mom told me was that Ronnie looked at her and said, he's like, would you like me to sing anything for you? And I don't know whether she chose something or not or whatever, but it was just like, man, like, it's like, it's so damn powerful. And it's like, I think that's what makes it really frustrating for me, where it's like, I'm not here to say Ronnie is a perfect person, because nobody fucking is.
Right. But say what you want about that motherfucker, but dude, come on. Like, he does stuff like this.
Yes.
And it's not just because, we know that. It doesn't matter that we knew this, he did it. He did it, and he did it without like wanting anything in return. He didn't do his team offered like, Come on, man. Like, he might be an asshole, like people say. I'm an asshole.
Right.
But won't when I need to be.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at him, is he's an asshole when he needs to be.
Yeah. And it's just, man, like, again, like getting to just to know these people and, specifically, Spunky or Cindy, whichever however you want to call her screen name or real name, like just she doesn't complain.
No.
She has only ever supported us, and she has only ever just been like, I'm down, I'm here. Like, it's like, let's do this. And it's just like, because from what I understand, like Amber did watch us too, so like, so it was just like, it's just the fact that we've, had this opportunity to do this very weird, intangible thing that is not this physical thing that we can touch, but it's this digital correspondence or entertainment that people relate to things, or that, these crazy moments happen, or like all that stuff. Like, just like, I don't know, like to me, it's like, again, I've said it before, but like, I can't remember what life was like before Cindy. I can't remember what life was like before we've, met Ron, or we've met these just incredible people that have done nothing but just open their arms and their hearts to us.
Yeah.
And that have just been like, dude, like, like we're in this together, we're doing this. And, again, I don't really have like a solid ending on that, but it was just, but in the same hand was that, this was something that I want to give her credit, because I know for a fact that she will be the first one to take none of it. Because she doesn't have that selfishness in her. And, because like when I think of Cindy is that, it's like whether you want to talk about faith or if you want to talk about the perseverance or different things like that. And I've met people like this before in my life. They're rare. But if you want to think about, somebody being a flame, a flame that stays alive. There are some people that have coals. There are some people that are raging bonfires, but they're mostly yellow. Like it's kind of like, maybe we could say cheap, or like, it's like, it's flashy and it's big, but dude, like Cindy is a blue flame. She is just a concentrated, just powerful force of nature that is a human being to do what she did, have the dedication to her daughter that, it's just like, that is just, it's mind blowing to me. And there was no way in hell that on the next podcast, I was not going to talk about these wonderful women, and just, being able to just geek out for a little bit. And, it's, I'm holding it together well. I'm doing what I can. That was one of the things she said to me in the message, was that she was like, no tears,
dude.
And I was like, oh my God, like how are you okay? Like, this is incredible. Like,
what's so fun. And I didn't say anything to him, so I don't know what's going to all be in the vlog or whatever. But when I went out with Jason a couple nights ago, he didn't know what was happening. I was messaging Cindy, and he had just kind of snapped a quick photo, and I forget what it was. Something got me, and I was trying to hold it together, and he snapped the photo, and we laughed, and then he threw it in the Discord. He had no idea why I like looked funny. Later on, I said something. We were talking about the situation a little bit, and I said, I was talking to her because we ended up doing a shot of Jaeger because I'd sent a picture of her.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, I don't know if she could like maybe see me typing or whatever, but I was saying a few things, and I ended up just not even. I just sent the picture of a beer, and I think she knew what was happening. And she was like, oh yeah, blah, blah. She's like, her choice was Jaeger. And I was like, okay. And so I told Jason, I said, we're going to go do a drink for Amber in her honor. He was like, what happened? And so I started explaining. I was like, and when you shot that photo of me, I was like, that's what he was like, oh dude. I'm like, it's cool, man. Like, you didn't know.
There was no ill intent there.
Yeah,
like
no.
It was
he was just like,
that.
Why do you look like that? I'm like, I don't know. And then I ended up telling him later, but yeah, it was just like, man, it got to me. And it's just like, I don't know how she is just, like you said, this blue flame, like she is just still standing strong. All I know is that when she finally gets to come here now, we're getting fucked up.
Dude, and that's honestly like that. What's interesting is that, you know, especially the role that mom has had with our audience too, because like we kind of like talked about it on the Moose Lounge podcast when we were talking with them, and they're like, you've brought your mom onto this thing, and like the community has just done nothing but embrace her, and like I know that she has, you know, been on phone calls with AJ or been on phone call with Lori, or like situations where
she kind of takes control of that more than like we do essentially. And I feel bad, but I feel like she kind of resonates more with them as well. So like anyways,
well, because I think it's also like it comes down to like the mentality of like, man, like mom is, you know, she's not a full-time content creator, so she has that ability. And like, you know, like she's told me about the wonderful conversations she's had with many different people, some closer than others, but you know, it's just like, man, like, you know, like the times that, you know, I think that like mom had sent, you know, Cindy something like a gift or whatever, and you know, and this is something that, you know, Cindy, I know you're watching no matter when this goes up or whenever you get to catch it, but she was just like, she said something to the effect of that you guys have just made me feel like family. Yeah. You know, and that's just like, dude, the feeling is mutual. Like it's, I look at her like she's like, you know, like my Aunt Cindy or like whatever, where it's just like, you know, it's like like the Aunt Heidi or like things like that. Like, you know, it's because like there's just been just some really interesting situations of things that have happened. Like our audience is battling things just like we are. Oh yeah. Like, you know, they are in the trenches. They're dealing with shit. They are finding reasons to smile every single day. And for some reason, two dopes from Ohio are a reason why they smile. And it's like, I again, we will never understand it, but man, it's just, it is what it is, man. It's a testament of just, you know, like, just the fact of that if you're going to do something, you know, you've got to know that there is a weight to what you do, you know, and it's like that, you know, the lyric that I think we've quoted before from Whit Lowry, when he was like, somebody came up to me at my show and said, dude, I'm sober because of you. Yeah. Like you do more than you know, man. Like, it's like, that's, you know, from people that have been in the hospital and they're like, nah, dude, like your videos are the only reason why I've gotten through this. Like,
seen a few of those,
you know, and it's stuff like that where like it is overwhelming. Like when we think about where we came from and what's happening now. And it's like, I cannot imagine not knowing these wonderful people and just, you know, this knowing that we have a role in it, man. It's just, it's so cool.
It is. No, it really is.
I'm just, you know, I don't know. Again, I didn't really have like a solid, like, you know, I guess you could say, you know, Olympic stand to, you know, like to end it on or whatever. But in the same hand is that just, if you guys want to take some notes on what it means to be a strong human being, you need to take notes from this woman, and you need to just, you know, understand that it's like, look, dude, like life is going to kick you in the balls a lot, but you don't have to let it hurt. Yeah. You know, it's, you don't like, you just like do the things that you love and take care of the people that are around you, embrace the things that you have, because again, like we don't know how much time that we have, you know, but we're here for a time and let's do it right. Yeah. You know, do it right 100% to the best of our ability. You know? That's
literally what I've been doing lately, is that's my new thing, is that, you know, just because I can't, you know, go on a cruise every 6 months, but like, no, I'm literally just, I have this time now. I'm doing what I want to do, and I'm trying to look at life differently. And yeah, I think that, yeah, like you said, people need to take some notes on Cindy on just how to live life and do things. Yeah. And, you know, I'm not saying that she doesn't have bad days.
Oh, of course not.
But yeah, I agree, man.
Yeah, dude. It's just guys, just take notes on that. And, you know, Cindy, no matter like how long it takes for you to be able to get up here to come see us and everything. Again, you're one of the few people that we're okay giving our address to.
Of course, right,
you know,
right.
So, but that's something that I know that I would love to get her involved in something or whatever while she's here, like whether it's a vlog or if we, you know, have her on a live or like what's a TikTok live or something like that, like just something to that effect. Or
I'll kick her ass in Clue on live.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yes. You know, like, and it's honestly short. Like I see her being the competitive one. We're like, no, it's Mr. Green. I know it. You know, so like, you know, because it's like we've been very fortunate that we've been able to attract very like-minded people. Yeah, you know, and I guess to go ahead and bring this all to a close is that, guys, if you've enjoyed this and if you do want to see more content, we do encourage you to subscribe, like, and comment, do all those things, and also give Cindy some love in the comments 100%. And everything, and just, you know, just shower her with love, because that is the one thing that now and just continuing on, that woman deserves more than anything. And with that being said, Eric, is there anything that you would like to say to the audience before we officially sign off until next week?
Well, I messed up and I was going to get us some Jaeger and I forgot. I didn't realize we were doing it tonight,
too,
but it is what it is. But I was going to take a shot for Amber, but I was just going to say, how about this? Just here we go. Cheers to Amber.
Yes, absolutely. I will do mine as well too. I've got my Smart Water here, not a sponsor, but as I hit the mic, but yes, cheers to you.
I had my other beverage, but I figured I'll just leave it on the floor.
Yeah, it's, YouTube has issues with that. So,
Yeah.
but nevertheless, guys, we love you. We'll see you next week. And it's very overwhelming. I kind of just had like an out of body experience right there for a second. Just
okay.
like, wow, just this happened. We were able to talk about it. So, but yeah, we're gonna end this here, and we'll see you guys next week. Adios.